welcome to our YouTube channel. This is Colin Zahawe from Weegle Tech. Today we're going to look at a beginner's tutorial on Microsoft Word. We're going to basically look at the Home tab in Microsoft Word. So the first thing we're going to look at is how do we open up Microsoft Word. So there are very many ways in which you can do that. You can come here below. I'm using Windows 10. I don't know which Windows you're using. If I come here and I type in Word, it will come up here, and I can click on it and open it. So for the beginner, this is how Word looks like when you first open it for the first time. So on your left here, we have the recent documents which were opened previously that I've been working on lately, and we have a feature where you can pin your documents. So if I go through these documents, let's say I go to this document named My Story, and I'm going to be working on it very often. What I do, I can come here and click on this pin icon. So when I click on it, it goes right at the top, and it means there I'm going to be constantly using it. So whenever I want it, I open up Word, it will be there on the left panel at the top, and I can open it and start working on it. And another thing I want to talk about are the templates. So the templates are very handy. They come in handy, and they can help you whenever you want to work on a specific thing in Word. Let's say you want to design a brochure in Word. Let's say you want to do a calendar or a resume. There are very many templates here that can help you to do what you want very quickly without any hassle. So if you go and get most of these templates got from the internet, and you can come here, you search for a specific one you want. You see the different groups are here. So whichever way you want to use the templates, I think we shall have to do a video on templates and how we can use them. So for the purposes of this tutorial, we are not going to use templates. We are going to open up a blank document. So when you open up a blank document, this is how it looks like in Microsoft Word. At the top we have the tabs, the different tabs, the home, insert, design, and whenever I click on a tab, below it opens up a ribbon, and that ribbon is divided in two groups. For example, in the home tab we have a font group, we have a paragraph group, we have a styles group. So there, whichever tab you click on, it will open up a different ribbon, and that ribbon will be divided into different groups. So let us see how we can type in or copy and paste in some text. So we are going to first type in my first Microsoft tutorial. So this is our first. This is what we've typed in. So to edit any text, you have to select it. I select by holding on my mouse the left click. I click on the left, hold, and then move and cover whatever I want to select. So once you're done with that, they'll bring a pop-up here with the different styles and how you can edit that font. But I don't want to use that. I will go up here in my home tab in the font ribbon, and we can do some editing. So I can change the font. Let's say I change it to Algerian, that is the font. I can change the size to 16. I can increase manually or decrease. I can change the case from sentence case, lowercase, uppercase, capitalize each word, all to uppercase. So for this case, I'm going to choose uppercase. It is already uppercase because the Algerian font is by default. So let me choose another font. Let me choose Arial Narrow, and I will change the font to capitalize each word. So capitalize each word, what it does, every first letter of a word is capital. I can also change it to, let's say, sentence case. So for sentence case, it only changes the first letter of the line or the first letter of the paragraph to capital. That is a sentence case. So for this case, let us keep it uppercase because this is like a title. So I'm going to get some text from somewhere. So let me paste in this document from somewhere else, and we are going to edit different sections of it just to learn. So the first thing, I'm going to get my heading. I change the font to, let's say, Algerian, and underline it. So this is the underline where we get it from, and we can let me select it again. When you see underline, there are other options. You can use double line, dotted, whichever. So if I come here to more underlines, underline style, I will choose let's say, let me use double underline. Then the color, I change the color to like purple. Font color, we leave the font color as it is. Then I say okay. So you see it has changed our title. So for the first paragraph, let me change the font to Bookman Old. There is a font called Bookman. I can just type in, if I know the name of the font here, and it brings me. So it has changed for me the first paragraph into Bookman Old. I can increase the size of the text. I can change it to sentence case, which it is already in. I can decide to bold. So this is bold. That is how we use bold. So you see everything is bolded, and if I wanted to change it to italics, I could change it to italics like so, and everything is in italics. We've already used the underline. So let's say there is a word I don't want to use. I can select this word and come here and click on strike through. So what strike through does, it draws a line through whatever you've selected. We have subscript and superscript. So here, like subscript, let's say we are writing, let me increase this a little bit. So to use subscript, let's say we are writing water in chemical form, which is H2O. But remember, this 2 in the formula of water is supposed to be below here, and it is smaller than these 2 letters, H and O. So if I selected these 2 and came here and clicked on superscript, you see it goes down and the formula is written properly. For superscript, let's say I'm writing x squared. So if I select the 2 and I click superscript, you see it turns it to x squared, which is the real x squared, not x2. So that is the superscript and subscript. So here, the next thing, we have the text effects and typography. If I selected this second paragraph, come here, So if I go hovering over these letters, you see it keeps changing my text to whichever design it has. So these are text, this typography and the typography and text effects. It has shadows, it has reflection, it has glows, so you can choose whichever style you want. So let's say I wanted a shadow and I wanted I can choose an outer shadow, and when I click on it, you see that my text is given a shadow, an outer shadow. So another thing, we have the text highlight, where we highlight the background of the text. So if I selected this last paragraph, came here, clicked, maybe let me choose this pink color, and I created I highlighted the text. This is how it shows. If I get this line, come here, I wanted to change its color, maybe to red. Red is very funny. Let me give it a dark blue, something of this kind. You see the text color changes. So here there is this button here we've not looked at. So this last button in the font group here is for clearing all formatting. All the formatting you've done, when I click this button, will be erased. If I select this everything here and click this button, you see it clears all the formatting apart from the highlighting. It doesn't remove the highlighting, but it clears all the formatting, and the text goes back to how it was without any editing at all. So that is the font group, and those are the different things which are found in the font group. So now when we go to the paragraph group, still in the home tab, the first thing here we have are the tabs. So the first thing we have in the paragraph group are the bullets. We have the bullets here. So if I selected these paragraphs of mine and clicked here, it changes the paragraphs into a bulleted list. You can change these to different shapes. There are very many of them. I can use the tick, so you can get even more bullets from whichever way you want. Maybe I can, let's say I didn't want to use the bullets, I wanted to use numbers and letters. So the second part here shows us how to use numbers and letters, or we use Roman numerals, whichever one you want to use. So if so we have here the decrease and increase indent. So if I went back to my so if this was if let's say this was 1, so let's say this is 1 in our bullets, and we wanted to create a hierarchy in our bullets. So if I click enter here, you see it is in the same line 1 and 2. But if I wanted to change this, let's say I have 1, but I have 1A, 1B, 1C, I can come here and click the increase indent. When I click increase indent, you see it creates another hierarchy below the 1. And if I keep saying, if I increase, type something here, let's say computer, and I press enter it, you put ICT, telecom, you see that it creates another hierarchy. So if I want to go back to the first level, I can press enter here, then go to decrease indent, it goes back to the 1 2. And here if I can keep using that for all the other, if I want to use that. So you can use that increase and decrease indent to help you create a hierarchy in your bullets like that. So let us clear all formatting here. So the next thing here we're going to look at is the aligning left, right, and center plus justifying text. So the first one is align left, aligns your content to the left. The second one aligns content to the center. So for example, this I may want my heading to be in the center, so I can select it and align it to the center. Let's say this was a letter, and above here I had, let's say, like a date. Today is 12th December 2022. So I would want that date to be at the extreme right. So if I select and I align to the right, you see that the date goes here to the right. So you see that our date is aligned to the right. So I can decide to justify the content in the paragraphs. If I click justify, you see that it tries to distribute the text evenly from left to right. So that is what we call justify. Another feature here, we have the line and paragraph spacing. So let's say we select all our paragraphs and we want to increase the spacing. So this is line spacing. By default it is in 1.0 or 1.15, but we can change, we can increase to 2.5, 3. So you see whenever we are hovering over this, the gap between the lines increases. So I can go here and say where we have line spacing options. We have already the alignment to the left. So indentation here is 0, but what we want is here spacing. So we have line spacing, multiple, we have different options. We have single, I will choose single. Line spacing, so there is no space before, but there is an 8-point space after. I can increase it to 6. I can decrease it to 6. So let's decrease to 6 and see. So we have single, 1.5 lines, we have double, at least, exact, multiple. So these are the different line spacing options we have. So if I press OK, you see that here it reduces. Well, if I select and I just click, if I just click one of these numbers, you see it will just change by default. We also have here add space before paragraph, remove space after paragraph. If we add space, you see that the space after the paragraph increases, before the paragraph increases. If we remove, you see that we don't have any spacing between the paragraphs. So that one also comes in handy. So the next thing is the next thing is the shading. The next thing is the shading. If I select, let's say like this last paragraph, and I put a color, so this is shading. So you see, if we choose another paragraph here and we came here to text highlight, I want you to observe the difference between highlighting and shading. Highlighting, it only highlights where the text is, but shading, it shades the whole background behind that text you've chosen, even that space without any paragraph, any text, sorry. So that is the difference between shading and highlighting. Highlighting only the text, then shading, it shades the whole background behind the text. Then the last part of the paragraph group is for the borders. So if I selected, let's say, this part and came here and I put a border, bottom border, you see when I hover over bottom border, it puts a line below everything. If I put top, it puts a top line on what I've selected. If I press left border, it puts for me a line to the left, right border, line to the right, no border, all borders. So it puts borders, it creates sort of like a table with every paragraph inside its own row. We have outside borders. It creates, it puts all what you've selected in one box. We have inside borders, it puts lines between, inside horizontal, inside vertical, so we don't have any vertical. So we can also come here to borders and shading. So if we selected borders and shading, you see they give us more options for the borders. We have these thick lines, the zigzag, the double lines, the triple lines with different design, the dotted lines, whichever one. The color, we can change the color from here of the border. Let's say we choose purple here. We can change the width, let's say 6 point. So these are borders. You can change the different options. Here they are saying apply to paragraph. So the last thing we're going to look at the home tab is the styles. So styles, these are pre-made styles for you to edit your text. So let's say if I selected this last paragraph, and you see when I keep hovering over the different styles, it changes the text to that specific style. So let me select like this. You see this one, the text is italicized and with blue color. The font is already Caribly. So you can, if you came here and you say you wanted to create a style, I can give it a name like my style. Style preview. I come here to modify. I come to style based on no more is paragraph. Still no more. So I come to the font. I will choose Bookman. I'll make it size 16. Italicize it. Color, give it a color like this, dark blue. By default to the left, yes. I will leave all the other things like that. So if I selected my style, so you see whenever if I select this and come and click on my style, if I select, come to my style, you see it changes the text to the formatting I did. So this can come in handy if you don't, let's say you always using the computer and you're doing typing certain documents and there is a certain way you want them to look like. You can come here to styles, create your own style, and you use it to edit your documents without a hassle. But it will keep changing them at once without you going to edit everything one by one. That is it for the home tab of Microsoft Word. Thanks for watching our YouTube tutorial today. Hope you learned something, and if you liked it, please click on the like button, share and subscribe to our channel. Please like, share. If there's something you didn't like, you can put it in the comment section so that we can keep improving our videos. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.